What's going on YouTube? I just wanted to come on here and just kind of talk a little bit about skill-based matchmaking. This isn't a topic that I often bring up, but I think it's pretty relevant. But, it comes up every once in a while, and, sometimes I'll see it pop up on my feed, and it'll pique my interest, for a little while, because I'm of the opinion that skill-based matchmaking is more of a good thing, or at least it does more good than it does harm. And the reason why I think that is because I'm not much of a hardcore gamer, like, at all. I'm, for the most part, just a casual gamer. And so when it comes to skill-based matchmaking, I, for the most part, am in support of it because it's supposed to be a system that makes games fair for the players involved, And it's not fair for most players if a small amount of the most cracked players at the game are stomping everybody in every single match. Now, without skill-based matchmaking, what might naturally happen is that in any given game in any given competitive game, in any given competitive online game, you will have the players within the match that will perform better than everyone else in the match, whether it's on their team, whether it's on the other team, just overall in the entire match. There will be 1 to maybe 3 of the best players, and of those 3, there will be 1 that will be the best, right? They'll have the most kills, they'll have the most assists, or they'll have the most lives left. I don't know. But yeah, out of anyone in any given competitive match, there will be 1 best player. And without skill-based matchmaking, what you find is you have a game in that it's just a random assortment of players of any skill, which when you think about it, it's like, that's not that bad, right? Right? It's just a toss of the dice, right? The match can turn any which way, although it'll probably turn in favor of those who are the best at the game, and so you'll get a game that is baseline, essentially. Like, it's essentially up to the most skilled players in that match that wind up winning, But there is a problem. There is a problem in that if you have new players, because skill-based matchmaking, for all intents and purposes, is better suited for new players than it is for existing players. When a new player comes to the game, the learning curve won't be as steep, seem to be as steep as if it were a regular game without skill-based matchmaking, right? So it'll sort of lower the barrier of entry for the new player, because they'll get that little bit of a signal like, okay, I can do this. The mechanics that I've learned so far are enough for me to try to for me to play this game and to potentially win a match of Fortnite or Call of Duty. But then what'll happen is as they get better, what'll happen is they'll get into they'll start to be put into games with players of higher skill. And when that happens, then they'll start to be like, oh, okay, so maybe the mechanics that I knew or the mechanics that I know are not enough in order to get high placement now. You know what I'm saying? Now that I'm speaking about it, now that I'm talking about it and thinking over it, I can kind of understand the argument against skill-based matchmaking, in that a game with skill-based matchmaking is manipulating the player constantly about how the match may go. It's not going to be up to chance, right? There's no trying to be better than anyone else in that match, because everyone else is at least at your skill level and just a little bit lower and just a little bit higher. The reason why that argument falls short is because in order for new players, when they come into a game with skill-based matchmaking, in order for them to get better, then they have to compete against players of their own skill level and win in order to progress. And that's the case with most, if not all, competition, right? You're not going to be playing. So, for example, when I was a kid, I used to play Little League. But so for those of you that don't know, with Little League, at least in the district that I grew up in, you can only play in a certain rank with a certain group of kids until you reach a certain age, and then you have to you can't play in that rank anymore, or you have to play in a more advanced rank with kids of that age. Because if the ages get too drastic, if the gap between ages gets too wide, then you have 7-year-olds playing against 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, and that's not fair, because the 13-year-olds are probably more advanced as far as movement mechanics. They're older, so they're probably more stronger, and so they'll just mop the floor with the 7-year-olds, so it's not fair to them. So they have to play, 7-year-olds have to play with other 7-year-olds up to probably 10. It's probably like 6 to maybe 9 or 10, and then the 12, 13-year-olds will be playing with players that are 12 to 15. And so that's how that would be measured. The argument that I hear about the people at the higher rungs of the competence hierarchy, of the skill hierarchy, they feel like the game, they're not having as much fun because they keep getting stomped in public matches or whatever. I mean, that's just a byproduct of them being as good as they are at the game, because those players are not going to get better if they're not facing players that are incredibly good at positioning, incredibly good at movement mechanics, incredibly good at sniping from 200-300 meters away. Yeah, it's kind of difficult for the high level players, but then again, high level players make it difficult for everybody else. So as far as I'm concerned, they're getting a mirror. They're getting a mirror to their own skill. They're getting a mirror to how they play. So at the rung of skill that they play. I mean, I hope I covered everything in this video. If there's anything I didn't elaborate on, feel free to let me know in the comments. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you. This is my first time doing something like this. It'd be appreciated if you liked it, to give it a like, or if you have something to say in the comments, definitely say something. I'd be glad to engage with you all. And yeah, take care. Happy holidays.